COVID vaccines made in Africa for Africa, a breakthrough today in pursuit of that goal. Janssen Pharmaceuticals, which produces the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine, has agreed with pharmaceutical company Aspen to move forward with a negotiation to allow Aspen to license a vaccine under its own name. And to tell us all about it, I'm joined by Stephen Sard, who's Aspen's Group Chief Executive. Stephen, I was very excited when I first read the press release. I thought it meant you could now manufacture the vaccine from scratch, basically using Johnson & Johnson's recipe. But it's not quite that. You're still going to be buying the substance from Johnson & Johnson. So what's different about this deal?
Yeah, I think there's some massive differences here. The biggest of all is at the moment, the first part of our deal, we contract manufacture for J&J, and J&J are our customer, and we sell to them. Here in this arrangement, Aspen has its own vaccine. The drug substance is supplied to us, as it is with 90%, by the way, of our other pharmaceutical medicines that we manufacture. And then we will release the vaccine ourselves, and we will sell to a client base in Africa directly. We don't sell to J&J. We would sell to countries. We would sell to multilateral agencies. And we no longer are simply a contract earning a contract fee, but we would be selling vaccines into the public. It's a massive change. It's given the vaccine inequality around the world. This means that there's something that we make we can retain on the continent. Oh. Right now, our vaccines can be exported anywhere, because it's not in our control. We are simply a contract manufacturer. Now we are the owners of a brand. All
right, so you own a brand, you control the sale and the distribution. Is it going to mean that the vaccines will be available in Africa more readily and cheaper?
Yeah, I think the vaccines will definitely be available more readily for a couple of reasons. The first is, our manufacturers really ramped up. You've seen South Africa has had to defer orders, and Africa itself has been well supplied way beyond what was agreed. But there's another thing. In addition, we are bringing incremental capacity on towards the end of Q1, which would give us, up to about 400 million doses for 2022. So there's quite a bit happening for us at the moment, Sally. But we can. In terms of pricing, of course, Aspen has come from a generic route, so our pricing will be competitive, that's for sure.
What does competitive mean? Cheaper?
Yeah, I think you're in a situation, I don't know every product and its pricing, but certainly we would aspire to we're not looking, which is one of the things you've got to be careful at with multilateral organizations. They're saying we'll support regional manufacturers. The reality is that and yes, they might support you at a premium for a while, but it's not sustainable. So where we are is we will be competitive, which I think, looking at where this sort of pricing in South Africa, we would expect to be below the pricing South Africa currently enjoys.
So, this deal is not signed. You've basically, my understanding from what I've read is you've got a non-binding term sheet. So you've agreed terms, but they're not binding, and that will form the basis for a negotiation to actually, get the substance and then put it all together in South Africa, and then be in control of the sale and distribution. Is the money sorted yet? Is the sticking point money? Has money been agreed? Because I think the pricing issue is such a crucial one.
You're completely right, Sally. And we wouldn't be announcing this if we didn't have commercial, legal, technical alignment. And it's taken quite a bit of time to get through all of those. And it's no use announcing something like this and saying, by the way, there's a big wrinkle we've avoided. I think what we've done is dealt with all the wrinkles up front so that both parties are absolutely clear, so that it makes the next step. We don't want to be negotiating in another phase. I think what we are is we have absolute principle alignment on all key issues. If we didn't have commercial alignment, Sally, it would be no point making this announcement, would it?
All right. So you're saying to me that the money has been agreed, otherwise you wouldn't be making this announcement today. And you say that the vaccine is going to be competitively priced. And the reason I'm battling with that is because I know that vaccines are charged at different rates all over the place. Can you say to me confidently that Aspenovax is going to be the cheapest available in Africa?
I really like the way you said that. Thank you, Sally. It's I don't know what the cheapest available in Africa is. I don't know everybody else's pricing, but I do know that we'll have a very competitive price. I certainly would expect us to be amongst the most competitive, if not the most competitive on the continent.
All right, the reason I'm pushing this is because Africa has been left behind, and there's great concern that new variants can develop in unvaccinated countries. So it's crucial, isn't it, if this is being championed as a victory for Africa and for Africa actually taking control of manufacturing vaccines and distributing them, that it is something that's accessible to all African countries.
Yeah, it is. I think the problem is not accessibility. I don't think the problem in Africa has ever been pricing. I think this is the biggest frustration. What we found was that 99% of our vaccines are imported. And what happens is when the borders close, for example, when India closed the borders, Africa didn't get vaccines. So I don't think this is about pricing or accessibility. Africa have been prepared to pay. You've got the African Vaccine Task Team. They're prepared to pay up. The problem is they just couldn't get access because other countries are served first, because their countries say you will supply us first. So the fault line is countries that can manufacture, not manufacture. It's not pricing. The pricing is reasonable. So, $7, $50. So it's not about pricing. It's about getting product into the continent and prioritizing it. You know, I saw a lady saying, in Africa, we were prepared to pay a whole lot more even than some of the other countries, but we couldn't get the product. So this is about having control and independence so you get the product, and you're also not infringing on IP. You're not looking for IP waivers, and you're not looking, will I, won't I have the technology, because you have the technology transfer. To me, vaccine access is about getting the jab in the arms.
Yeah. How soon is this deal going to be struck? And how soon are we going to see your COVID vaccine being made and distributed through Africa?
Yeah, so I think nothing slows down now. We continue with the operational processes so that we don't, you know, whether it's a regulatory process, whether it's accrediting the new line, which will give us extra volumes, none of that slows down, Sally. You know, it's really, I think we've agreed the substance of what we have to agree. We both companies are comfortable around that. And now there's the form that we do, but we don't want to slow it. So we'd like to be bringing our Aspenovax into the market early in 2022. That's where we'd like to get to.
So that's about 3 months?
Yeah, 3.5, what's it like? Yeah, 3-4 months.
3 to 4 months. Yeah. That is really fast indeed. I want to ask you a little bit about...
Because there's not a lot of regulatory hurdles, because you've effectively a copy of an existing product.
Is there a risk that Johnson & Johnson will be outdated now with Omicron on the horizon? And does the contract allow for the vaccine solution to be adjusted to deal with any new variants? How quickly can that happen as well? Because the mRNA type ones, those can be adjusted quickly. The Johnson & Johnson ones, not so much?
These are tweaks. These are tweaks in all the dossiers, wherever they come from, you know. So everyone's got their own publicity platforms. And J&J, for example, could also tweak their vaccine in a pretty speedy fashion. So, but I'm not prepared to really comment on the new variant until the scientists have agreed on the new variant and what it responds to and doesn't respond to. I do think that J&J will be producing data in the not too distant future from Sosonki trials, and these are real-world studies. And I think we should pay attention to what comes out of those results, because I think we have a very strong vaccine in J&J.
I have to ask you this question because tomorrow is World AIDS Day, and this deal that you are in the process of making is quite a similar one to one that was made around the production of antiretrovirals. How did that local deal change the game for the treatment of HIV/AIDS?
Well, at the time, we got a voluntary license. So as you say, there was some similarities, certainly with what we've done now. We got a voluntary license, and we were the first people to produce, not only in Africa, but in the world, a generically approved FDA product, which we then put onto Africa and to South Africa. And if you remember, then we were almost exclusive supplier because we were a few years ahead of everyone else. And, you know, with all humility, we were able to save many hundreds of thousands or millions of lives across the continent over this period, because South Africa, as you know, bore the brunt of the deaths, and Africa on HIV and AIDS. So it was really great to be part of that process. And the evolution of the drugs, you know, the first one started 3 drugs 3 times a day, and some of the side effects were horrific. So it's great. We got down to, you know, one tablet a day, and it's probably, we've really prided ourselves, Sally, in being able to be. We're a small company, by the way, in pharma terms, but we've always tried to be at the forefront in the pandemics. As you said, it was ARVs, then with COVAX and dexamethasone, and then all the anesthetics for COVID across the globe, and now the COVID vaccine is it's something that really makes us, you know, proud to come to work every day and gives us a purpose in everything we do.
Oh, well, thank you so much for telling us more details about this breakthrough. Stephen Saad, Aspen's Group Chief Executive, on the news that Johnson & Johnson is planning to sign a deal with Aspen to manufacture the vaccines. Of course, the substance will still come from Johnson & Johnson, but Aspen will have full control now over the sale and distribution. It will be competitively priced, and Stephen Saad telling us within 3 months they hope to be rolling those first off the factory floor.